Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States. How we doing today? I am doing fantastic. That's right. And I hope you are as well. Thank you so much for coming. Today, staying with the theme of Battle of Britain, we're going to watch a video on remembering Battle of Britain Day. It's from the History Squad. Kevin Hicks over there. Wonderful, wonderful human. A while back, he given us his blessing to learn from his videos and to watch interesting and historical things. I love his videos. They're great. I know a lot of you do as well. But it's really important. Even though you do watch, go to his channel, support him, like, subscribe if you haven't. And it's really important that you do so. So I encourage all of you to get over there and support Kevin and his endeavor on the History Squad. So yeah, Battle of Britain Day, is that a thing still? We're going to find out. Before I do, one of our channel family members, Trev, who is the one who kind of hooked me up with Jane from Ukraine. Trev, if you don't know, he goes and helps and volunteers his time over in Ukraine and helps wherever he can. He sent me a letter the other day, and I just kind of want to share with you what he sent. Wonderful little note. Thank you, Trev. I appreciate you. First couple things here. These are these little patches, and I'm sure to some they are familiar. They are NAFO, N-A-F-O, North Atlantic Fella Organization. So if you know, you know. I don't know if you can see those up close, but these are awesome. These were, I'm trying to remember, and I'm reading back. These were his patches that he got when he was in Ukraine volunteering. I love them. Thank you, Trev. These are pretty awesome. Apparently, it was an internet meme. This dog, what does it say? A Shiba Inu? Shiba Inu dog? Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right, but apparently, it became like a meme. I'm not really up on my meme game, but cool. I'm blessed that you think of me. So, of course, since he spends a lot of time over in the Ukraine, I don't know if it goes like that or like that, but he sent me a Ukraine flag to support Jane, is how I'm going to look at it. I'm going to support her and what she's doing, and of course, all the other people over there who are struggling. And this one's cool as well. Hopefully, I'm not holding it wrong. I'm going to hold it both ways, just not really sure how it's going to look on camera, but Yorkshire. So very, very cool. I appreciate you, Trev. Thank you so much for thinking of me. If you do want to send me something, it is not required to be a part of our wonderful, wonderful community, but the P.O. Box, my address, is in the description of every video. Like I said, it is not necessary. You do not need to send me something, but I did set up this P.O. Box in case you did. And just know that I am blessed and very, very grateful that for those who do send something, I'm just so wonderfully humble. It's just that you would think of me enough to, it's not cheap sending stuff overseas, no matter what size, right? And I'm just, yeah, I'm honored to be your friend, and to have you hang out with me. So thank you to all of you. tomorrow live stream, we're going to keep it at the same time. So if you can make it, that's awesome. It's just I don't have the flexibility to move based on the game. It's 9 o'clock my time. It's been confirmed that it's going to be showing at 5 o'clock your time. Just keep an eye on it if for some reason I guess you have the summer time difference there. 1 hour. I think it's still 5 o'clock, according to a lot of you have told me it's still scheduled for 5 o'clock. We're just going to leave it at that time. So if you can make it, great. But I totally understand if you are getting ready for what must just be exciting time for all of you. I know my son Cooper, he loves the football, the English football. He'll be right on the couch. That game starts at noon our time, so we'll be watching it tomorrow as well. I was almost thinking that I would take him. There's a local pub, and I use that term lightly. Of course, it's not like anything you have, nowhere near it. But it's called the Victoria Pub. It's an English pub. At least that's the theme. I was thinking maybe to take him over there. One of the cool stories, and I'll let him kind of, I don't want to, spoil his thunder. But he was able to watch some of the Euro when he was over there in a pub, and I'll let him explain it. Hopefully I remember to ask him about it, but he got to sneak away in his hotel. The hotel had a pub or bar, is probably more accurate. And I think it was in Ireland, when he was in Ireland, and he got to go downstairs to the bar and just sit in there and watch the game with the locals. And yeah, he thought it was just a cool experience. But I'll let him, hopefully, if I remember to ask him. If not, I'll update you in a future video. But anyway, let's get into today's video. This is, again, from Kevin over at History Squad, is remembering Battle of Britain, one of our finest moments. Again, please go support Kevin and the History Squad channel. It's really important that you do so. And let's get into it. All right, let's check it out.
Hi, my name's Kevin Hicks. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The History Squad. Now today's film is about the Battle of Britain, 15th of September 1940. And we're broadcasting, or filming if you like, from the Saskatoon Museum of Military Artifacts over here in Canada. I thought it a bit poignant as it's the Royal Canadian Air Force section. Yeah. So, the Battle of Britain. Battle of Britain Day, we knew it, 15th of September when I was a youngster. And there were RAF veterans and cadets and that kind of thing on the streets of Britain selling little wings, little paper pilot wings of the RAF. It was the Royal Air Force Association, the Wings Appeal, raising money for veterans, that kind of stuff. We all used to put these on and run around playing at aeroplanes. And it was just the other day, I come across something, Battle of Britain Day, 15th of September. And I thought, nobody does it now. Nobody remembers, do they? And I thought, what a shame. It was really big when I was a kid, and the family always, Battle of Britain Day. So, Battle of Britain, what does it mean, really? Well, if you look at what had happened to the Brits, the beginning of the war, we'd been beaten. We fought hard, and we lost. Our troops withdrew at Dunkirk. And if the Germans had followed us over, it would have been horrendous.
To kind of go back to the video that we just watched with Dilip Sarkar, it was one of those things. It's like, if it could have been really bad, right? If they, because of the surprise of coming through mainland Europe and got all the way to Dunkirk and the other places, if they could have just kept going. Of course, it's easier to just say, just get on boats and go across it was impossible to just keep going across the water. But yeah, it the delay, from what I'm understanding, is, you know, a good thing for the Brits at the time, as they were kind of reeling at the moment. So yeah, thank goodness that you had that body of water that separated mainland Europe to the island. Interesting.
The only division of soldiers we had in England that were fit and ready to fight were the Canadians. Thank goodness for those. But the Germans, from what I've learned, they weren't going to follow us. There was lots of stuff going on. And I've come across like plans from the Wehrmacht, the German army. They were going to send 40 divisions of troops. They were going to attack down in Devon, come round the Severn Estuary, all the way down the Isle of Wight, then down the Thames, cut off London. And then the Navy said, we don't have enough ships. And they went, okay, then we'll do 9 divisions and 2 airborne divisions. And that's 200,000 troops. And then the Luftwaffe, the Air Force, says, we can't guarantee air cover for that. Meanwhile, Hitler is celebrating that famous stance he did in Paris about the defeat of the Allies. And the Battle of Britain begins kind of half-cocked, as we would say. They attack the convoy system coming along the channel. Dover, the Straits of Dover, Hellfire Corner, they called it. And there's some fantastic footage that you can see online, actually, from the Imperial War Museum about the Stuka dive bombers attacking the ships. The British, we're in dire straits at this time. We're trying to retrain our army, trying to re-equip our army, and our Air Force had lost half its strength in the fight for France. And as Churchill says, you know, the battle for France is over. Now begins a battle for Britain. Everybody believed that the Germans were going to come. The operation was called Operation Sea Lion. And they did prepare. They did have landing craft. But the army didn't agree with the Navy, who didn't agree with the Air Force. And I watched an interview with Adolf Galland, one of the Luftwaffe aces of the war, probably the most famous Luftwaffe ace. And he was asked directly, this is way back in the 1960s, were you prepared for Operation Sea Lion? And he laughed. He said it was ridiculous. We weren't trained to fight an air war over England. And he says, we had 2 squadrons that were actually earmarked to go and fly from England. We never thought it would be successful. That's from the mouths of the Germans. Still, They launch it. And what they're going to do is they're going to take out the RAF. They're going to blow the airfields to pieces. And they start. And the casualties mount. In fact, the casualty figures are quite incredible. I'm not going to go through them. We'll show you them at the end on screen, because there's just so many that they almost brought the British to their knees. So the attacks on the RAF airfields in Britain by the Luftwaffe, the German Air Force, came to a peak last week of August, first week of September. This is 1940, don't forget. The RAF, they'd lost 103 pilots killed in action, 128 seriously injured. Now, these aren't specifically British pilots, because this was British and the Commonwealth, right? And other volunteers too. 6 airfields were out of action and 500 planes have been destroyed.
Wow.
Fighter Command, RAF Fighter Command, was on its knees. And then on the 7th of September, the Germans changed tactics. They were actually winning. And then they changed tactics and they bomb London. They start the Blitz, and it costs Londoners hell. But it gives Fighter Command a respite. It gives the RAF chance to regroup.
And that is kind of like a turning point, right? I mean, once you start, you know, take your focus away from military targets and you start bombing civilians, that kind of changed everything. And yeah, that was a big mistake on their part for sure. But yeah, that was a game changer right there. And I'm gathering, I'm sure a lot of you have your own opinions about it, but just it's I'm sorry. There's just some massive thundering going on right now. That's wild. I don't know if you heard that. It's like big raindrops. I mean, they look like they're the size of a quarter. Just, they dropped for a little bit and then now we just got like thundering noise. Bizarre. It's like we're in the South. This is what they would have, this sort of thing in the South. Anyway, let's get back to it.
And the whole thing really comes to a head on what we call Battle of Britain Day, the 15th of September. The Germans, they're going to bomb London. They did 2 raids, I understand. They weren't expecting any opposition. The RAF had got their big wing together. They shot down 56 German planes.
Nice.
For the loss of 29 of their own. It was the apex. They say on the 15th that the RAF won the Battle of Britain. It was a terrible cost for both sides. When I was a kid, I used to cycle up to a place called Cannock Chase, a big desolate piece of land in Staffordshire in England, and look at a First World War British cemetery. And behind it was a German war cemetery, some First World War, but the majority, over 2,000, were Second World War casualties. A good chunk of them, German air crew and pilots and that, from the Battle of Britain. Never forgotten that grey cemetery. Hardly anybody ever visited it. We just used to go and play around.
Wow.
But then it all fades from memory, doesn't it? It's easy to forget. Second World War, it's all fading, isn't it? Well, I had an experience. I was giving a talk at an old age pensioners and old folks home, all ladies. And they'd asked if I could do a history talk. And I said, I'm not going to do First or Second World War, just in case one of the elderly ladies there had been alive at the time. I said, we'll do the Battle of Waterloo. How's that? And they floated that with the ladies. Yes, that'll be great. And Kevin turns up with his musket and red coat, and we do the Battle of Waterloo. Now, these ladies, there was 20 or 30 of them in this little hall there. But in the corner was one slumped over, a real old lady. Wasn't snoring, wasn't breathing. OMG, she's dead. So I thought. When towards the end, when we were just having a chat, the old lady puts up her hand. Everybody else goes quiet. Reverence there. So I go over, and this lady was quite an age. She was slumped there, didn't open her eyes properly, just flickered open a little bit, and I put my ear next to her mouth. My husband was in a war. I says, oh, really? I says, which war was he in? Oh, he was in the last war, the Second World War, you call it. I says, oh, right. I says, what did he do? He was a fighter pilot in the RAF. He flew Spitfires.
Wow.
I says, wow. He was 19 when he was shot down and killed. I was pregnant with my daughter.
Oh, my gosh.
Do you know, I never remarried. And her eyes opened and looked right into mine. She said, because I loved him. Oh. Then she went back to sleep. Oh. That's it, isn't it? That's the cost, the price of war.
Wow. That really affected me right there, Kevin. Look at that. I'm going to go back so I can read the... that story. My goodness. Look at... wow. They were all doing their duty. Look at the difference, though. Look at all, well, first of all, look at all the different countries involved, right, in the Battle of Britain. Of course, you have the Commonwealth with Australia, New Zealand, Canada, South Africa, and so on. And then you have, Irish, American, Polish, Czech, Belgian, Free French, Israeli, one pilot from Israel. Wow. There were 7 from the U.S. 1 was killed. Wow. I know the Polish had a lot of pilots. I see that. Polish was second largest. Huh. So wild. Czechs were up there. That's incredible. But then you go down to the German losses and bomber crews. 1,176. And then all the missing that they believe. That's crazy. And then the just this last statement right here. They were all doing their duty. They were all somebody's sons. That story is gonna haunt me. That he told. That's wild. Yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little video of mine. The reason I wanted to shoot it is to illustrate how easy it is to forget. We have the Poppy Day, don't we, on the November. Other parts of the wars are forgotten. And yet those men, and women too, laid down their lives for the freedom that we enjoy now. Lest we forget. Anyway, enough of that. If you enjoyed the film, like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, turn on the notifications button so that you know what's coming down the line. But before I go, mention to 2 of my Patreons there, Christopher Barner and Jeremiah. Hey guys, thank you very much. But for now, bye-bye.
I love Kevin and his channel. Yeah, that gave me goosebumps when he told me that story, and I was just emotional all of a sudden. That was wild. And I'm sure there's just hundreds and hundreds of stories like hers, like that woman. Terrible. Thank you for coming along. I appreciate it. The thunder has just kept going. I don't think you can hear it, but it's a very kind of a sound. It's very, very haunting, if I can use that word again. Yeah, wild weather right now. If we were in the Midwest, people would say, oh, this is tornado weather. But we don't get too many tornadoes here in Ventura, so I'm pretty confident that's not what's going to happen. But who knows? Again, thanks for coming. We'll see you who can make it tomorrow to the live stream, 5 o'clock your time. If you're not going to make it tomorrow, that's okay. We'll do it again, of course. And go England. I'll be pulling for them to take home the title. And hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. And before we leave, go support History Squad. Please, 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 please. All right, take care, everyone. Bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark, and he's from